Authenticity builds trust. If I know that you're being genuine, I'm gonna trust you way more than if I'm a little bit skeptical. Embracing what makes you unique.
Embrace your uniqueness. Wow, that's
there you
pretty
go.
good.
There's
there you
another
go.
E.
One more. Could we get to 5?
Oh, no, I got nothing.
The fact that you think you can't tell the difference between waters, that is ridiculous. Wow. That hurts my head.
And they find their audience. They find the guys that have their type of weirdness.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Kicking It podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Quinn. This is one of the other co-hosts, Kenny. And today we're talking about a very special topic, I guess. It's something that I struggle with. It's something that a lot of creators struggle with. Not necessarily sure on the title yet, but it goes along the lines of something like being your authentic self, being versus creating for the algorithm, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Who is your master? Are you your master, or is Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg your master? The numbers. Oh shit! I got some likes. Oh, the dopamine.
Yes, that.
Yeah. What's your version of genuine?
Genuine. I think only you know. Like, it's your authentic self. It's who you are when no one's around, and it's hard to do that when you put yourself in front of the camera. But it's getting as close to that as possible. And I think only you know. I think it's like who you are in front of the camera, who you are when you're not, and the gap between those two people.
Yeah, because sometimes there is quite a big gap.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and we know people who put it on a bit when a camera's on or when they're in that social setting. I myself am I think I'm pretty standard across the board. Like, if you see me on the camera and I say some stupid shit, if you see me in real life, I will say some stupid shit. That's just who I am. So I think I'm pretty good. I don't really act or anything.
Mm-hmm. Has it taken you a while to get to that space though?
Yeah, remember our first couple where we were, and even I remember, bro, I was looking back on all my hidden YouTube videos that I've like
the archive,
and I've like I went back to like 2020 and I saw my first vlog, and I was like, that was terrible. That wasn't me. And I guess that's why it's hidden and no one will ever see it.
Yep.
If you are authentic on camera, that is one of the best ways to build trust with your audience, or well, okay, here's a question for you, Kenny. Do you think that you can build a genuine good following just by being, authentic online? Or do you need those viral moments sort of thing to build up your audience? If that's what you're trying to do.
To build up an audience or to build trust within that audience? I think it's...
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's different because authenticity builds trust. If I know that you're being genuine, I'm gonna trust you way more than if I'm a little bit skeptical.
Yeah. I guess it comes back to that Matty Hapoya thing where you're just like, I think he's a bit shady or something. He's not being genuine here with all the brand deals. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. From I listen to a ton of Chris Do, and his idea of...
He's coming on
yes,
next week, right? He's doing that Australian tour.
We should hit him up.
Yeah, I'll send him a message later.
Yes.
I know a friend of his, so
I'm happy to slide into the DMs. I do it to everyone.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
I'm not afraid to do that. Here's 3 rules in terms of how to build trust with anyone, but more so online. One is authenticity. If I know that you're being authentic and genuine, that will build trust. The other one is empathy. So do you really care? Some people will say all the right things, but they're only asking you questions to sell you something in the end of it. Yeah. So it's like, do you really care about me, or are you just asking those questions because you have this ulterior motive? You're trying to sell me something. That I would lose trust if I feel that's what you're doing.
But you can pick up on that very early on because of your sales background. So you have a better idea of when someone's trying to sell to you.
Yeah, but maybe. But if
but
someone
you
were
can
to
smell
feel
the
it
bullshit.
Out, exactly.
Yeah.
If I feel like you're not being authentic, like you're not being you, if I feel like you don't care. And the third one was logic. Like, do you make sense? Like, there are lots of people online that can all have the same message. They're all trying to preach the same thing, but one is just saying it in a way that makes way more sense to you. So you'll trust that guy because you're like, that makes sense when he says it to me. So you'll build trust within your audience with those 3. And I think creating authenticity and genuine connection is a hard thing to do. One, because you could just be nervous in front of a camera. And two is you may just be trying to chase numbers and you see that there's other content that's performing really well. And because we all use numbers as our form of validation or knowing whether our video is good or not, we feel like we need to do what that guy's doing. And the thing is, when you start doing what that guy's doing, it may take away from who you really are because you're acting as someone else rather than.
Is that not the sacrifice that I guess you should make to be famous or get your 15 minutes of fame or something? Do you think?
Yeah, probably. I
Sell
think
your soul a bit?
it's having a balance of both.
Yeah.
It's knowing, because I see the benefit in it, especially if you're a business. Some people don't care about being genuine or not. They just want the numbers, especially businesses. There are businesses that are paid thousands and tens of thousands of dollars just to get eyeballs.
To go viral, yeah.
Or just to put an ad on TV. Like, think of all this, you put an ad on the Super Bowl, it costs you millions. That's just eyeballs, man. So why would you, I get why someone would want to do the trends or, sacrifice their authenticity because they don't really care. They don't see it as art or anything else. They just want the numbers. And if you can do it for free, why would you not do that instead of paying? So that makes sense. But I think it's having a balance of both, because when you all start doing the same thing and you all look, it's perceived, you got to think of what the audience perceives you as. And if the audience perceives you as the exact same thing as everybody else, there's no difference between anyone else. And when there's no difference, you become, they call it like a commodity. Like imagine when I moved out of my last place, when I move into my next place, I'm going to have to get electricity. I'm going to have to get gas. I'm going to have to get an internet connection. To me, all of the providers that provide internet, they're all the same to me. Like there's no difference between any of them. How would you, I decide because I don't know and they all look the same, I'm only going off price. Whoever's the cheapest, I will go for. Same as my electricity, same as my insurance. Because I don't know a diff, they all look the same. Now, the only game we're playing is price. Now, if you're making content, if someone perceives you as exactly the same as the other 1,000 photographers because you're all doing the same thing, you just end up playing the price game. When you play the price game, the cheapest guy wins. And do you really want to be the cheapest guy?
Definitely not.
So, so I think it's like playing the game where you do get the numbers, but standing out enough by being authentic and genuinely you then stand out. It's the same as water, bro. Like you can buy 5 different types of water. You would not know the difference between the taste of any of them.
Fuck off.
You wouldn't.
That is such a lie.
Really?
That is
I can give you 5 bottles of water.
I can tell the difference.
Between Fiji water,
yeah,
Voss.
that's like a number 3.
There's no way.
Voss is not,
There
like,
is no
Voss is
way.
okay. What's that alkaline water from Woolies? People know.
Yeah.
The $3.50,
Yeah,
1.5
there's
litre.
$5 water
That's a
and
good
there's
one.
99-cent water.
But
I get
people
water,
can tell.
I buy water from the fridge and then I refill it from the tap.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Well,
and that one's free.
That says a lot about you.
Really?
No, actually, the best water I've ever
Yeah.
had is tap water from New York. You're going.
It's free.
If you try, they have the cleanest, best. Well, they did back like 10 years ago when I went.
Yep.
They had the best tap water ever. That's why their bagels are so good. Anyway, tangent. But if people know, if you drink a lot of water,
Yep.
you can tell the difference between water.
I don't think so.
Like Mount Franklin, it's basic, pump basic, like all that stuff down there. When you start to get to the Icelandic section and all that sort of stuff,
Yep.
the water, it has a different taste,
I
different
think
flavor.
most people,
Nah.
most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference.
I will hazard a guess.
Yeah.
There's going to be fights in the comments about people like tasting the difference of water between tap water and bottled water and everything.
I
They'll
would
be able
love
to tell.
test you. There's no
Yeah.
way.
They
They all taste the same. You could put
I don't know
5,
why I'm so upset
yeah,
right now.
I know.
I'm
You
getting
could
like
put, you
real
could put
fired
5,
up.
5 cups of water in front of me. I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between any of them.
Bro, I think I could.
Do you think price wise? Do you think one's worth $5 and one's worth 50 cents?
Well, see, that's the difference to me, right? I don't go off price for water. I go off the flavor and the taste. Like
Wow.
people understand me.
Sound crazy, man.
Water, there's a certain types of good water, and like there's certain types of bad water. Like acai or something, the pink lid one, that tastes like absolute dog crap. Like I think there was a big thing with Coke just filtering tap water and putting it into allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yep.
And
Because you can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Some people can and call
A
it
lot
spring
of
water.
people
But
can.
anyway, and then there's like some alkaline water that's just got a bit of bicarb soda in it. But you can taste good water.
Do you think that you get influenced by the story that the water company sells to you?
100% no, not for
Really?
me.
Okay.
So this is what goes on in my head, right?
Yeah.
Because I was a PT for the longest time, just like you.
Yep.
And I went through a phase of just trying every different bottled water. I went through the Voss thing because of the Kardashians and all that shit.
Yeah.
And so I looked at all their marketing and whatever, and I was like, to me, that doesn't matter. It's how the water tastes.
Wow.
And I found my brand. I don't know anything about their story or backstory or whatever. But I've even had Liquid Death and all that sort of shit and all the canned water.
Yeah.
But it has a different feel when it's on a metallic. Like it doesn't taste as good.
But they're selling their water for way more.
True, but that's because of the branding and the marketing and everything.
The story that they're creating.
Yeah.
Based off it. So a lesser product to you can sell for more and do
100%.
and do really, really, really well.
Same thing. So like at it's free here at the gym. It comes out of the the tap. You go to Woolies, it's like $3.50.
Exactly.
You go to a restaurant, it's $6.
Exactly.
You're on an airplane, it's $15.
But if you use Liquid Death as an example, if you're saying it's a lesser product,
it is.
They can sell for more. They sell their water.
LaCroix.
Exactly, but they can sell their water for way more.
Yeah.
And they're killing.
Oh
right
yeah, they
now
are. Yeah.
Because of the story they've created in the consumer's mind that they're different.
Yes.
And that's the whole point of being genuine or telling your story.
I get what you were saying, but the fact that you think you can't tell the difference between waters, that is ridiculous. Wow. That hurts my head. There will be other people that will back me up that will be like, yeah, no, Quinn's right. Or there'll probably be people that will be like,
there won't be many.
Nah, there'll be hundreds. There'll be hundreds.
Water, man.
Nah, nah, I had to fight you on that. I could not agree. But I get what you're saying. But see, Liquid.
The point, but
they know put in the hard yards.
Exactly. But if you're creating something, same as I don't know if you feel different, but there is a lot of if we come from the gym background, protein supplements.
Yeah.
Protein, like if you create another protein powder, it's the same as all the other ones. Like you're just selling protein, so you have to find a way to make you look different. It's like, what makes me different to all these other guys so that I can have a higher price? Or to the consumer, I would want to have that one rather than the other ones, even though they're all the same. Yeah. And you've got to find what makes you look different. Yeah. What makes you different is what is unique about you.
Your true, authentic self.
Exactly. So there's benefit to being the same as everyone else because those are the things that tend to go viral and the numbers are what makes us feel good. And the numbers are what a lot of people chase, especially businesses. But at the same time, there has to be a balance of trying to find what is unique about you and having the confidence to show that to people.
True, and it takes, well, I don't want to say bravery, but it takes a bit of confidence to put yourself out there, and put yourself up to ridicule.
Yes.
I remember, I fight, well, not fight, but like I comment on stuff all the time. And I think it's fun and funny to interact with people that way, but I am putting myself out there for ridicule and I get dragged sometimes. Like, there are some viral reels with comments of mine out there that people have disagreed with quite profusely and have proceeded to, attack my character and
why do you think people are afraid to be different?
Probably just for that. Who do you think is a good example of a creator who is different, who's not really doing the norm, but they're still finding success with being themselves?
With being themselves.
With doing their own thing. For me, it would probably be Van Neistat, Casey's brother.
Okay, yeah, because he's a weird dude.
He's weird.
He embraces it.
But that's who he is.
Yep.
And he has still found success as a filmmaker and doing it that way.
True.
Possibly another one, maybe Nikocado Avocado, the big mukbang guy who's recently lost like 200 kilos or 200 pounds or whatever in 2 years.
I don't know that guy.
You don't know that guy?
Nah.
Oh,
why is he called Avocado?
That's a huge segue.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay,
yeah,
okay. But he's himself.
So he did huge, mukbangs were a huge big thing back
Yep.
in the day, but because I believe his personality and because of all the internet trolls and everything, they kept his career going, whereas many other mukbangers or, ASMR guys or food eaters on YouTube creators sort of didn't have as long a career as him.
Why do you think that is? Because he was himself, right? And yet there's connection and you
He's a
resonate
huge
with that
asshole
guy.
though, like huge dick.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Some
guess
people
that's
like
why.
that.
Yeah, because sometimes negativity breeds.
Yeah. Or entertainment. Like you can just
It's
have
very entertaining.
entertainment value.
Yeah. He's very entertaining to like the lower echelon of like.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. My example.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah. The example that comes to my mind is Logan Paul. I think I've told you in the past, there was a time like he had one of the biggest YouTube channels on the internet.
Massive.
And he was posting like twice a week, 3 videos a week. And then he just stopped and started Impulsive, his podcast.
Yeah.
And then he got interviewed and got asked why he stopped, or really, I think he's doing like one a month, one every 2 months now. And they're like, why'd you stop the YouTube thing? You had one of the biggest channels in the world. And he said, dude, to be honest, it was exhausting. It was exhausting to put on this character and be like, hey guys, how are you going? Like he knew that wasn't himself and he had to keep playing it over and over and over again. And he was just so tired of it. And he felt like when he does a podcast, he can just sit there with his buddies and just talk shit and be himself.
Yeah.
And he found that so much more rewarding that he just gave up a YouTube channel that's making him so much money.
All the controversies as well.
Yeah, true. Obviously that set him back, but then he kept making them. And then he built it back up. But it just goes to show that when you're not yourself, it's exhausting to play a character that isn't who you
because essentially,
really are.
you're playing someone else. You're having to put on that mask to either sell something or try and get those views, likes,
exactly.
that sort of thing.
And that's why I think when we started, I was like, only you know if you're being authentic or not.
Yeah, I mean, there are telltale signs like you're always sick or like you're having trouble picking up the camera. Oh, I don't want to do this. You're putting stuff off, that sort of thing. That should be like one of the markers or the not necessarily wake up calls, but you should look at that going like, okay, maybe I need to change something. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was in front of the camera or that sort of thing, or maybe I need to change how I approach making content.
We've seen some people do really well in front of a camera, like genuinely in front. You're like, man, that guy. But I've seen some people that they look that way because they genuinely like it's not don't care, but they don't care about. Yeah, too fine. And I think sometimes, even me, if you're trying to provide value and you want to do it right, I've seen other creators too. They'll script things and they'll do retakes because they want to get it right. Like they're trying to, social media, especially, it's a value-based platform. Like you have to be providing value if you want to do well, whether that's through entertainment, being funny, doing something stupid, or helping people, which is what we're trying to do. And if you're not providing value, especially in a way that you know you could be, sometimes it does take a little bit longer. And maybe you won't be yourself a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's a balancing act because there are times I've made videos. I'm like, I want to get this right because the person that's listening to this, it needs to be bearable. Because if you're doing a really shit job at communicating what you want to communicate, you might have a really good message.
Yeah.
You're just not very good at delivering it yet.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, so you do a few takes and maybe you're not being yourself, but it's because you care about what you're delivering.
True. Yeah, that's a good point because the more you care, the more you'll not necessarily be a perfectionist, but you'll be like, no, I want to get this right. I want to do it again. Like I can do it a little bit more.
Exactly.
People like that.
Yeah.
Which is good and also bad. Like
yeah, exactly.
As you say, it's a balancing act.
I don't think we're picking sides here.
Yeah, we're just saying.
Yeah, there are times where it is good to play the algorithm game. And that's the thing. All these social media platforms, they are a game. And if you value views and likes and all that sort of thing, there are the platform creates rules. It's like, these are the videos that get you there. Yeah. They're basically telling you this. So you can't sit there and have a cry about it. If that's what you value and that's what you want, you have to play by their rules. Otherwise, they're just not going to push it. And it's like, do you value that? Because some of us don't. Or do you just value being yourself? And a lot of the time that's just playing the long game, because most of these guys that are themselves and are genuine, it might just take them longer, or they might not have a viral video for a long time, but they feel way more fulfilled and they find their audience. They find the guys that have their type of weirdness.
Yes.
And that, those may not be playing according to the rules that social media has laid out for viral content, but it will grow over time. And if you're willing to just put in the hard yards and do it for long enough, that crowd will find you.
Yes. Build it and they will come.
But it is having the guts to be different and put yourself out there so that the people that are different the same way that you are can find you and resonate with you in a different way than being the same as everyone else.
True. And you can also create your own audience, I guess, as opposed to finding them. So you don't necessarily have to wait. You can say you want to target a certain, specific demographic of the population. You could make content towards that audience. You just, could put your own spin on it to be your authentic self or whatever. That's another good way to grow in that regard.
But it's slow, right? When people pick niches, like, oh man, not many people are going to care about,
I will disagree again.
Yeah.
So when I was married back in the day, I had this beautiful house in Tamworth, and there was this one guy, I remember I watched him like every day. He put out a new video every day. And it was this greenkeeper in Orange, and he just put out videos on lawns and all the different types of grass and everything. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want my lawn to look like that.
Yeah.
My backyard it was so good. I got all these new lawn care products and stuff. I was only like 25, 26. But still, I was an old man trapped in this young person's body, and I was researching all this stuff. So there's like, and there, have you ever gone on like a doom scroll or like down the rabbit hole on YouTube?
Of what?
Of you watch one video that you were looking for, and then after a while, it's like, how did I get on, the UFO landing in Roswell? That's weird. Or like Sasquatch, or like, crocheting, or that sort of thing.
We've all been there.
Exactly. There is so much content out there for everyone. Like, I think there's a guy who just licks stamps, and I don't know if it's a sexual thing, but if you're into stamp collecting and licking or that sort of thing, he does all that. Any sort of hobby, there will be a community, and there'll be at least one person making stuff about the stuff that you love.
Exactly, which is why you should be doing those things. Some people pick a niche, but they think, out of everyone I know, there's only one other guy that likes clipping their lawns.
Yeah.
So this content's not
really
not gonna perform. So therefore they don't do it, and they go and try and do the thing that everyone else is doing.
Yeah. And then they don't like it and they stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When they need to realize that if I make these videos about my lawn,
it eventually, bro, I watched him go from I think it was when I first started watching him, it was like 8K, well over like 300,000 followers now, like subscribers. Ridiculous. Moved from Orange to somewhere else with his family, like just had left the greenkeeping thing because he was doing greenkeeping full time at the Orange Golf Club.
Yep.
And then just started doing YouTube full time. Like
wow.
After I think it was like 2 years.
Dream.
Just people love grass.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo. Ooh, Sir Walter.
Anyway,
all that sort of stuff.
No, but it's true. You've got to lean into that. You got to lean into what makes you different.
Lean into your weird.
Yeah, and not be afraid to put it out there. And
well, I mean, some stuff you should probably keep private.
Yeah, exactly. But people need to resonate with who you are in a different way.
True.
Like separating yourself from looking the same as everyone. And another, like a big point that I'm not a big thing in, like, I know there are a lot of people that like shit on like the school system, and they say like we're all broken kids because we've been raised the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I feel like, tell me what you think. A lot of people say that the reason that we're afraid to be different or, express ourselves in a unique way is because through the school system, we were taught not to. We were all taught to do the same thing. Yeah. You're all going to sit in line. If you want to talk, you put your hand up. And if you act different in any way, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
Which has its benefits, right? Obviously, you don't want people acting like morons in society and being menaces.
Yeah.
But the negative side of that is that when we've all been to school and when you've been put through that system for all that time, you almost like it's very easy to have a mindset that makes you afraid to express your uniqueness because through your whole childhood, you were taught to
Suppress it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that now, once you leave school, you've been doing that for 12 years.
That's the norm.
It would be so scary to be different because you've been taught the whole time it's not good when I express who I really am.
Yeah. I used to have a desk outside the principal's office, and like my last 2 years at school, that's where I was like probably every day
Right?
because teachers just didn't want to deal with me. And that's
Exactly.
totally fair. Like I was a shit kid.
There's benefits to that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But at the same time, that could affect you later on.
I think it
when-
has.
Yeah.
Look at me.
You're doing all right. But I think it's an obstacle that a lot of us, like
Yeah.
we put up those walls and it's like, how do you break through those afterwards, knowing that that's not always going to benefit you?
True. There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people do feel that way.
Do you think school's good? What time do you think you should leave school?
I had a great time at school, man, but
Yeah.
I didn't do it the right way.
You
I
just were
just-
there for have fun and sport and that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's all I did. So, and no one really stopped me from doing that. I
Were
just
they
I
the
played
best
sport.
years of your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far.
They were the worst for
No
me. But
stress, no bill. I just played.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just played
true.
sport every day.
Yeah. that's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to worry about. It was great. It was good times. But I see the good and the bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to. And then the thing is, when it came time to put myself in front of a camera, I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
It was the hardest thing I ever did. I couldn't believe how much of a mental hurdle it was. Like when man, it was scary as fuck.
It's crazy. Yeah, the difference after like say a few months, even just trying to hit that record button is like you have to do it, but you just I know you start to freeze up.
Yep.
And then yeah, but after a few months, it's
and even
easy.
posting. Have you had those?
Oh
where you're
yeah,
like, you're just
bro, I
so
delete
scared
everything
to press
or
it.
archive
Yeah, even
it, archive
afterwards,
it, yeah.
right? I've had those times where I'm just like sitting. I'm like, what am I waiting for? And I'm just not posting it.
It's because no matter what anyone says, you know, people can say, "Oh, I don't care what people think." That's a huge lie. You care what a certain group of people think, whether
Yep.
it be like, you know, you're my friend.
Yep.
I care what you think about
Mhm.
certain things. My mum, you know, if I'm in relationships,
Mm.
that sort of thing. You do care what some people think. And that's what stops us from, you know, I don't want to say achieving greatness, but
Mm.
you know,
No, of course.
posting stuff and on the road to where we want to go.
Mm.
That's what holds us back is people's perceived, I don't know, value of us or
Yep.
you know what they think about us.
Yeah, of course.
Because you know you post something else and someone that you might like or respect goes, oh, that's shit, or
Yep.
that's I don't like that.
Cool, but I think that's good, and it's changing your mindset because the reason why, or at times for a lot of people, the reason why they do certain things is because their only metric of success for their content is the numbers
Yeah,
and the likes. And if you're using that, that's probably the wrong way to go about it. You're setting yourself up to be really disappointed
Mm.
because if you don't get the numbers, you think you suck, and,
Yeah.
right? And you think you're terrible when that's not always the case. If your way of getting feedback and validation is through your peers, that's probably a way better, more accurate way of improving rather than using the numbers as knowing whether or not your content's done well or performed well. It should be your mates and the people close to you and your peers and the people who are in your world.
yeah,
That's a way better way of getting feedback and knowing whether you're on the right track or not. Especially numbers, man. You could get one that just does really well. Actually,
Here we go.
no. I'm just saying, like the numbers don't matter when it comes to like how much value it's providing. Think of Hawk to a Girl.
Mm.
She created her very first podcast a couple months ago, like a month ago, 1.7 million views, right? I don't think we've had maybe 2 of our episodes get over 100 views, right?
235, I think.
235 was
a
our
good
best
one,
one, right? I genuinely think that depending on who's watching, there are people that would get so much more value out of watching some of our episodes than they would watching that one episode of hers, which got 1.7 million views. So the views don't necessarily mean that a video is better than the other.
Oh yeah, definitely. But a lot of those would be like hate views. You know, to see her
knows?
fail or to you know,
Maybe,
'cause
yeah,
now
but
it's
that's why you
changed
shouldn't
where-
be using the views and the numbers as whether or
As a
not
metric.
as whether or not your video is done well or not.
Okay, I'll disagree. I think
Yeah.
I think that's exactly how you should determine success in this platform.
Mm.
But the way that I see it as being successful is we're still doing it every week.
Mm.
We still have a great time doing it.
Mm.
Get to hang out with you. You get to hang out with me.
Mm.
We get to talk shit a little bit before and after we actually do the pod. And then I see, because, I go out a lot more than you and see different people
Yep.
in various different groups. And one of the most surprising things has been, oh, hey, man, I checked out the pod, or like I listened to this episode, or, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
Like, not friends, not
Yep.
anyone that I know. It's just like, oh, hey, man, or hey, yeah, I saw you and Kenny like doing
Mm.
and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I would prefer, that's how I am judging it, is like
Yep.
people in real life coming up and going like, hey, cool, you guys are doing good. Like, keep going.
Exactly.
Because like our numbers are still small.
Yeah.
Obviously they'll get there, and there'll be a better way to judge how the pod is going
Exactly.
in the future.
Mm.
But I'd say in the short term, I wouldn't. I agree
Yeah.
with you there. I wouldn't worry about the numbers
Yeah.
in the short term,
Yes.
because I've seen some stupid shit go viral.
Exactly.
Like that chick that just had her face and she wasn't doing anything. She was just a pretty girl.
Yeah.
And it had like
I think it was the most liked or most viewed video on TikTok for so long.
ridiculous.
Yep.
However, 7 million or whatever.
Mm.
So it's just like stupid stuff like that goes viral all the time.
Yeah.
Should you chase virality? Should you be doing that as a creator? Is that not the fast track to like hating life and like, hating your job and everything,
Yeah.
and like never picking up a camera again?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that's what everyone tries to do with everything. Everyone wants to get rich quick. Everyone wants to lose
Yeah.
20 kilos in
Quick.
5 weeks.
Ozempic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's just built in within us. Like we all want to get that quick result.
Yeah.
If there's a way to do it without putting in all the
All the
hours
effort.
and the work,
Yeah. Well,
people
we
will
talk
take
about
it.
that all the time. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think the crazy thing is now when something goes viral, we all see it.
Mm.
But you don't see the millions of other people who are putting out content and not getting any success.
True.
Out of all the people you know, everyone you know,
Yeah.
how many people in person do you know that have had a viral video that has changed their life?
Maybe one?
One.
Yeah.
And out of all the people you
Maybe
know,
one. Yeah.
how many of them are making content?
Oh, all of them.
Exactly.
Everyone I know, except for my mum. I wish my mum would make content. That'd be great.
My mum
She'd be hilarious.
doesn't make content. She comments on a lot of things on Facebook.
Yeah, old people.
Yeah,
they love it.
They love it.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah,
You
one
know.
person out of like, I don't know, 50.
So if you're looking at like your chances,
Mm.
it's like playing the lotto, man.
True. Yeah,
So-
and you got to scratch that. You got to buy the ticket
Mm.
every day, sort of thing. So.
And a lot of the people that I look up to now that I guess you'd call successful on social media or on any platform, they've been doing it for forever.
a long time.
Yeah. So
a very,
like
very long time.
more
Yeah.
often than not, the blueprint is do it for a very, very long time, like
Yeah.
a very long time,
Yeah.
and stick with it and learn and improve incrementally as you go. It's never really outside of Hawk to a Girl.
Mhm.
There's not many that have just had this super viral moment and can just ride off that for the rest of their career.
Do you know she can skate? I
what,
saw
what kind of like skateboard?
like roller skate. I saw she was on the skate park. I was scrolling as we do,
roller skate.
and I saw her in the skate park. She went down the half pipe or whatever, and then she went up and did a backflip and came back down.
A backflip?
Yeah,
What do
like
you mean a
like a
backflip?
somersault. Like she rolled up, rolled over, and on the wheels came back.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Wow. I'm a fan.
It could have
of
been an
hers.
AI.
I am a fan of hers.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
She's on the way out. She's on the way out.
Her views are going down.
Yeah,
It was like
drastically.
1.7 million. Then he was like, it's gone down.
Has she even done a second episode yet?
She's on about 4,
Has she? Oh, okay.
and they've gone down every time, but still super high. It's still like 400,000 views.
Well, she's, I guess, like, I think the thing that people are not necessarily upset with, but yeah, probably angry with, is that she's trying to like, essentially, it's a good idea if you only have one shtick. Like, the hook tour thing is her 15 minutes, but she's like trying to throw out all these other buzzwords now to try and get her next 15 minutes of fame. Like she's throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. So that could be another good idea. Try many different things, see what works for you, see what builds you a community, an audience, that sort of thing. See if you like doing it, if you can do it for a long time. That might be the way to one, be authentic, and two, go viral. If those are your determining factors of longevity.
True.
Doing it for a while.
And I think it is knowing your audience as well. She obviously doesn't really who's her audience. She may know, but it's hard to tell because when something goes viral, it's literally just everyone. Maybe it is, but then when you know that, you try and stick to that, and you speak to those people directly.
She should have gone to Barstool instead of Logan Paul.
That would have been great.
Yeah,
she would have fit in well.
Portnoy or whatever.
Yep.
The pizza.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's another good example.
Yeah.
He just loved pizza, and just started to do the out of 10 or whatever.
True.
The one bite.
Exactly. But that's the thing. When you then find your little community and you know who your audience is, it's so much easier to make content because then it's like it's a value driven platform. All of these are. It's like, how do you provide value to that audience? I'm sure there's so many people that love pizza that are going to New York and they want to go to the best pizza place. So that's value to them, as well as like the entertainment value. The guy's funny. Some of those interactions are hilarious. But knowing your audience is so important because you can speak directly to that person.
How many people have had like controversies over the years that we've all just forgotten? I think it's like about a year and a half before people just forget and move on. Anyway, there was Dave. He's a funny guy. I remember. I petitioned to bring Sal's Pizza over here. That's why we've got one on King Street and then one in the Cross as well. Anyway, but that's because of Dave, he also has a great ability to adapt. Adaptation is a great thing too. The Hook Tour girl, Haley, is it? Haley? Anyway, Hook Tour girl. She is not very good at adaptation. She was riding the wave, and left it too late. So I guess be a mind reader. Know when to pivot when the market's pivoting.
True, but I think like if you know who this is something that I'm learning as well, especially working with clients, is that the importance of knowing your audience. So then you know when to pivot, or you know what they like. You know it's better to know what's trending within your community than widespread.
True.
Right? So there are times when I've worked with clients, and I think this is a good takeaway for any creative that is working with clients. If you know who their audience is, say you're making content for a client, if you understand, and a lot of times you have to ask the question because not even they know, but if you know what their audience is, who their audience is, you then know whose opinion matters more than others. If I'm making content for a client and their audience is, I don't know, 12 teenagers and 20 to 25-year-old females, my opinion shouldn't matter very much. It shouldn't hold that much weight. Even though I'm a videographer and I've got all this experience, if I don't like it, it doesn't matter. If 20 to 25-year-old girls like it, that's the audience. So my opinion doesn't matter too much to someone who knows their audience. And if I'm not in that audience, it shouldn't matter. Therefore, when I'm making content, if I know who my audience is, or say with the pod, we know who our audience is, right? Those young creatives that are trying to turn this into something full-time. We know that if we talk to people outside of here who are in that audience, we should really listen to them. And their opinion matters way more than some dude who's never picked up a camera before but tells us, is in the comments saying this podcast is shit. Yeah. So I think where you get your feedback determines like whether you or not you're on the right track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not all opinions matter as much as others.
Yeah, that's true. It was a good feeling the other day when I'd sent like through a property album and the client was like, "Yep, good." Instead of like, "Oh, hey, can we change this, and this?" I was like, "Oh, sick, cool."
Love your work, yeah.
Yeah, because I went in with the mindset of like, because I'd never worked with them before. Oh, maybe once, but years ago, and then they slid in, And then I was like, okay, shit. So I got to look at like who shot for them recently, what's their audience. Went in, shot everything like that, completely not my style, which is fine. You're gonna have to change your style throughout your career and shoot differently. And yeah, they were just like, oh yeah, cool, thanks. I was like, oh, that's great.
How good does
That's
that
just what you
feel?
want.
Yeah, best
It's
feeling ever.
just like a thanks, and then nothing. That's great.
You want to keep those guys around.
Yeah, 100%. As opposed to like others where it's like, no, we need to change this, this, and this, and like they, anyway, yeah.
But you've done enough real estate work to know what these real estate guys would want.
Yeah, true. But yeah, they're all different too. Sometimes you get the guys who are like flashy. Sometimes you get the guys who want to sell the story of the house as opposed to just how the square footage, that sort of thing. But yeah, everyone's different. So we've been talking about like being authentic and everything. How much do you think that you should share with your audience about your personal life if you want to be?
It's totally up to you. Everyone's different. Yeah.
How much do you share with people?
I don't share that. Yeah, I don't share that much with anyone.
Yeah.
And which I think is a very good point also. I'm mega introvert.
Yeah.
Super introvert. If I'm in a room full of strangers, I'm not saying a word.
Yeah.
I just don't feel, it's very hard for me to open up.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like how many in the world, how many people do you think are introverts?
I would say 50. Yeah, 50-50.
A lot of people.
A lot. Maybe less, maybe more. Yeah, about 50-50.
Yeah.
60-40,
Cool.
I'll say.
So we'll say a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's still 4 billion people or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Now, and I'm one of them. And so if I'm in a room, I'm not talking to people because they're strangers to me. I don't open up to people easily. That doesn't mean that I don't like people.
True.
Right? I like people. So
many extroverts hate people too. Like
true.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I don't like people. I do like people. However, in order for me to connect with someone, I need to feel like I know, like, and trust them.
True. Yeah.
Right? How do I know, like, and trust someone? I need to get to know them. I need to know whether they're genuine, whether they care, right? Do they, like, all those things that come with creating genuine content will connect with those people who have walls up and no one's going to connect with you. Like, think of an introvert. All these people, I'm not talking to any of you guys. I don't know you. I don't trust you.
What if there was a room full of introverts? Who would talk first? Would someone talk first, or would everyone just be on their phone?
No, I don't know, man.
Have you been in that situation before?
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, but I don't know. I'm more of a one-on-one guy.
Yeah.
I can talk to people one-on-one because then I get to feel that energy. Like if it's one-on-one and I can feel like this person's not being himself, like I can sniff that shit out.
Oh yeah,
and then then I'm really not going to open up. But your content is that on a larger scale. It's like if you don't give those people a reason to connect with you by, sharing your uniqueness, it's going to be hard for those people to reach out to you. Do you think an introvert's going to reach out to you, man? Like there's no way. Unless they feel like they've connected with you in a way
that's true
that is unique to them.
They will slide into the DMs, but I've seen many in person and yeah, same thing. It's like, hey, I'm like, oh, hey, man. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just text you later. That sort of thing. So sorry, that just reminded me of something. that was crazy. I would say that the two different types, someone who does authenticity really well, even though I haven't seen much of her content lately, is Emma Chamberlain. The way that she talks to the camera, she invites you into her world. The Kardashians have built their entire lives on trying to connect with you and letting them into your world, even though it's like very polished.
Yep.
And then someone who I think people started to see the cracks later in his videos was like David Dobrik. Like he always had that fake laugh and like he was very authentic, but it felt, I could feel it where I just could, it kept getting recommended to me and I was like, I don't want to watch his videos. It feels weird. I don't know.
Do you watch late night TV?
I don't have a TV. All I've got is YouTube, but I
Have you ever
see all
watched-
the
have you ever watched Jim-
late.
Have you ever watched Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, his laugh, his laugh, bro. My
It's
favorite.
the fakest laugh
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
so bad. So bad. He is full. Anyway, he's
He
funny.
almost
but,
does it on purpose, like as a joke. I'm
bro,
like,
one of my
"This is
favorite ones is when he's like, I can't remember who he's interviewing. I think it's Pedro Pascal or someone, and they're laughing or whatever, and then Pedro just goes like that, and then touches him, and Jimmy's just like, and the mask drops for a second.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Wow.
Fuck, but yeah, his laugh is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what Ellen was before she tried to come back and all that sort of shit. But yeah, personalities like that. You get, I guess, that's a good learning, example of like you get to a certain level and then you have to put it on.
You have to keep it on.
Yeah, and you have to keep it on. And then that's your persona throughout. Because you see all those guys that, get chased by the paparazzi or whatever, and they're trying to live a normal life, but because they're in the spotlight, you can't escape it, and people see you as that person, they're going to go up to you and expect that person like 24/7.
Yeah.
And it would be exhausting.
True.
It would be so tiring. So I get it, but I mean, it's the balancing act. You get fame and fortune, and you have to sacrifice, your privacy.
Privacy.
Fuck, why did it take me so long to think of
Privacy.
privacy? That's fucked. Okay, so sorry, I've got like heaps of Okay, so we've covered heaps. But I guess so from what I'm hearing from you is you should create with purpose.
Yes.
You need to understand your audience. Or understand yourself, but also see we're getting into some deep stuff because understanding yourself that can take years.
True. But it's good practice.
True.
Like it's a good practice to do.
Yeah. Should you cry on camera?
No, see, we talked
We
about
talked about
all
this
the time.
Yeah.
I think it's so strange.
Is that being authentic?
When it's genuine?
When in a scenario would crying on camera be genuine? Like,
Because there are two instances that I can think of where
Yeah.
people cry, and one seems to get a pass and one seems to get shit on.
Yeah.
The person who films themselves crying,
Yep.
not genuine.
Yep.
You can feel that it's not genuine because they would have had to set this whole thing up and decide to do all these things. However, do you watch Diary of a CEO? Stephen Bartlett?
No.
No?
Yes, I've seen clips.
You've seen clips.
Yeah.
The amount of celebrities that he's had on his podcast that have cried,
Yeah.
endless.
Yeah, really.
Endless. He makes them all cry. It actually hasn't happened recently, but there was a period for like 6 months. Everyone cried. Gary Vaynerchuk, I think he made Hormozy. He made everyone cry at
Shit.
some point in the podcast.
Okay.
They all get a pass
Yeah.
because it's genuine. Because they're being filmed. They know the cameras are on and they're crying, but no one gives them shit. They're like, oh, wow, that's so touching.
Is it because there was another person there eliciting the emotion?
Yeah, because obviously they weren't, I don't know.
They weren't alone in their room.
But what do you think's the difference? Like it just feels, it comes across as way more genuine.
Yeah. The emotion's there. You're empathetic with that person.
Exactly. So the difference is being authentic and genuine.
Mm.
People will accept and connect with that way more than the other person's probably crying for the exact same reason, the person that's filming themselves. They're probably thinking of the same topics, the same.
I don't know. The
whatever.
one that always comes to mind is that girl on the bed and she's having like a tantrum and crying because her boyfriend or her fiance broke up with her after like 7 years or something.
Yep.
That's the one that sticks out in my head as like disingenuous.
Yes.
And she got dragged in the comments, obviously.
Yep.
But then I don't think I've seen a genuine person cry. Maybe like in Hot Ones or something, but that's obviously because of the chili. The wings, the spicy.
No,
spicy
yeah, like
wings.
in interviews when it gets like
a bit tough.
yeah,
when they pull on
when
the
they
heartstrings.
when they ask those tough questions. Do you watch Theo Von? He cries all the time. He talks about some real topics.
I'm so glad that he left, because he was on SNL for a bit, wasn't he? And then, or he was going to work there, but then went on his own.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad. Oh no, that's right. He was a co-host of something. And then Bobby Lee. Anyway, all those guys.
Yeah.
But I really like
Theo Von cries all the time. It's funny. He was interviewing Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins likes getting into all those like your feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
And he starts crying. Tony Robbins like, oh, I think I got a tear out of you. He's like, man, I cry here all the time.
You ain't
He's like,
special.
yeah.
Fuck. Oh,
So
shit.
sometimes it's good to express.
Do you think men should cry?
Yeah, why not? Of
Oh.
course.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just when it's authentic, when it's genuine.
Like, so yeah, actually there was I can't remember the study, but it was like men cry an average of like 10 times in their life, and one of their times is on their wedding day. Anyway,
Huh.
something like that. I can't remember the actual numbers. Please don't fact check me on that. That's that's not going to be good for anyone. Would you cry on your wedding day if you got married?
I don't know, man. I've never been there. Sometimes it depends because I could only go off the weddings that I've been to.
Yeah.
The one that we filmed, Skivvy, I was touched.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so
And
many nice people there.
yeah, if I was Skivvy, I would cry too.
Yeah.
Like that was so touching.
I think I've only cried at 3 weddings, and it was just same thing, very genuine. You could feel all the energy and the love.
Yep.
Like these people were meant to be together.
Mm.
They wrote like I can't. You should write your own vows, or not vows, but you should write your own speeches. Don't get Chat GPT to write your speech.
Yeah.
You can feel it when and it's funny at the time, but there's no, even just changing like a couple of words. There's no essence of you in that. Like there's no emotion.
Yes.
And people can feel that. And I guess to bring it back around, people will be able to feel your genuine self when you make your content that you like making.
Totally.
Stuff that you might like to create.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to speak with emotion when you actually mean it.
True. Yeah.
Like it comes out of you. You see people that are like, that guy actually loves what he's talking about, right? Like you can feel it.
Yeah.
When someone's really into what they're talking about.
Yeah, totally. Like when you talk about oh fuck. So when you talk about your old place when you lived above the bakery, man, your eyes light up like every time.
Yeah,
you're talking about the pies and then
don't
the
bring it
coffee
up,
and everything, and like how good that place made you
I
feel.
love that place. I would still be there now. I never wanted to leave.
Yeah,
I never
and you
wanted to leave.
you can feel that.
Yeah,
you can feel that.
I can still feel it.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
Versus, when you talk about fitness first.
Yeah, I hated
completely
that place.
different.
Hated that place.
Yeah.
That was miserable.
But it's the same.
That's true. But still emotion.
It's still emotion,
It
just
could
different.
be a high or a low.
Mm.
People feel that emotion.
Yeah,
And that's what people connect with the most.
definitely.
A really good point that maybe it was, man. I've been watching a lot of Christo lately, but I've heard multiple people say this. When you're trying to rate or get a good interpretation of how well your content is going, this is a hard one to do, but I've heard so many people say, look at your content and ask yourself the question, would you follow you? And sometimes you have to be real honest with yourself.
You didn't have to jump on me like that. Holy shit. Well, I mean, if I posted any content, I would. Like, I would look
But
at
it's
it.
like, but it could be like the pod. It could be all
Yeah.
this stuff. It's like, am I really getting value out of this? Am I really giving value? Could this be so much better? If I came across my page, would I follow it? And if it's a no, then you're like, well, then it doesn't surprise me that I'm not getting the numbers that I want.
True. I would follow myself, but only because I like street art.
Yep.
And I shoot some street art, so that's pretty cool.
But then you say there are times where you don't post.
Yeah,
right?
fuck
So
no.
would you follow someone who's not posting?
True. Yeah, everyone should just unfollow me right now.
No,
Let me start again from zero.
The reason we met up is because I followed you.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Found your work. I'm like, this work's awesome.
Bro, I saw your portraits and stuff, and I was like, oh, this guy's another portrait photographer. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, back in the day.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yep.
No, you don't do portraits.
I know. I need to really get back into that. They were good times.
They're just fun, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
Because we do work.
So much fun.
And you need passion projects as well.
Yeah.
I was talking to MG about it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like 3 going on at the moment. Anyway.
Yeah. Got to do more.
You got to do more. Just remember, you're here for a short time, not a long time.
Yeah.
Enjoy the time you have.
And those passion projects give you a reason to try new things and find the things that you are passionate about.
True.
Because
Yeah.
when you create from a place of genuinely loving what you're doing, that's going to come through as well.
Man, if I had the time, I would hit up restaurants and I would do food photography and I
Mhm.
would get fat. And I
Trade
wouldn't care. I would
trade the
trade
content for
yeah,
food.
trade the content for food and I would just live off that.
You could
Like
totally
that
do
chick
that.
who went on like, for a whole year, she saved up for a house and just went on dates with dudes and got free meals. I would do the exact same thing. I'd build up my portfolio of food photography and just get free meals all the time because you get to eat it after. Like, it's just going to go in the bin.
Yep.
Restaurants are just like, no, man, that's yours. You have it.
See?
And then sometimes you get paid for it on top or a lot of
Mm.
the time, but that would be the
True.
goal.
If
If I didn't like weddings so much,
You're
I'd
right.
be like, food. Oof.
It's
Is-
just an exchange of value.
Exactly. And I love making food look good. And I love eating.
Could be a thing, man.
Maybe on the next episode, we should do like a walk and talk and we'll go up to different businesses and be like, hey, can we create some content for you?
I'd totally
free
be down
food?
for that. I used to
That'd be
do
fun.
it all the time with the kombucha thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because that's a scary thing to do.
How do you do that as an introvert? Like, what do you have to tell yourself? What mindset do you have to get in? Because
Yeah.
this will be valuable for a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, cool.
Because a lot of them are introverted. As a severe introvert, how do you get out of that mindset? Because your job demanded it of you, where you go and talk to strangers, people who you didn't know, multiple people that you didn't know in a day.
Yes.
How did you?
Every day.
What did you tell yourself? How did you get in that mindset? Because the people want to know.
I think it was being self-aware and knowing that, like accepting, man, I'm such an introvert. Like I'm not good at this. And I realized my weaknesses, what I was not good at. And I was like, if I'm going to make it in anything, I need to overcome these things. I was like, if I do this job, I'm going to be forced. I have no choice but to do it every single day. And I thought if I do it, if I get this job, I will overcome this hurdle that I have of being scared of talking to strangers.
Was there something that you said every time before you went into a business where you're like, I don't know, for me, I always say huzzah.
No,
And
there
that
was
gets
no
me going.
ritual.
No,
There was no
nothing.
ritual. But
You just did it.
Yeah,
Cold
I was
turkey.
always like, I always wanted to get better at certain things.
Yeah.
And I knew that I couldn't count on, like I tried to put myself in positions to do it every day. So it's same as I was a PT, I wanted to get better at sales. I knew sales was the thing because I was like, if I get good at sales, that's a skill that's transferable anywhere. If I ever want to change career, sales is going to get my foot in the door.
I can't remember. Is sales a soft skill or a hard skill? I can't remember.
I don't know, but it's a fucking important skill.
Yeah.
And no matter where you go, you could change to any industry. Everyone needs sales. And if you've got that skill, it gets your foot in the door. And then you can work your way to wherever you want to be. So I was like, cool, I need to get good at this. So that's when I got the Nike job. Because I thought, fitness and sales combined at the same time. I'm going to be forced to sell every day. And I'm still in like the fitness industry because I'm selling fitness shit. So I was like, cool, I get to sell every day. This is going to get my sales skills up. Then after that, it was a kombucha thing. Man, if I have the guts to just walk into every cafe in Sydney and just be like, yo, like,
Hey, you want some
this is my
kombucha?
drink. I want you to sell it. Forcing myself to do that every day, it's going to build a skill in me that I don't have. So everything, my mindset is always like, what are the skills that I want to get better at? Well, back then anyway. And how do I put myself in a position where I'm just drilling it in me, where I have no choice but to get better at it? Otherwise, I'm not going to get paid. I'm going to suck. That was the thought process. It wasn't fun. I hated it. But
it helped you out.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Transferable, like forcing yourself to be in these uncomfortable situations and build the skills that you know you don't have are going to help you out in the long term. Same as being in front of a camera. It's like, man, this sucks. I remember doing it the first time, but if I force myself to keep doing it, I'm going to build a skill that I know is going to serve me so much more later on. It's just an obstacle that you have to force yourself to overcome.
We should give out some homework. This week, before the next podcast drops, if you're a photographer or a videographer, I want you to walk up to at least 7 people this week until you get a yes and say, hey, can I take your picture? Or, hey, can I make you a short video? Or something like
scary.
that. That's a good way to get over fear real quick.
I would be afraid of doing that.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's tougher in rural areas because, small
even
towns.
just making a video saying, hey, I'm a photographer. This is what I do.
Yeah.
reach out to me if you want your picture taken.
If you want to work with
That's
me.
so scary
Yeah.
for someone who's never done it before.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, but overcoming that, it opens up so many doors for you. Just that. If that was your homework for a week, just a story.
Yeah.
Just put your phone up.
One story
Hey,
every week.
my name is this.
I'm out.
I take photos.
I'll be here at this time if you want to meet up.
Message
Take
me,
some photos.
and I'll love to take your photo.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah, you would not believe how scary that is for most people.
I've been naked in front of like lots of people, so it's not scary.
Where did that come from?
Anyway, sorry, I was just thinking like, because that's the thing, right? Most people are just scared of like, did I tell you? One time, anyway, we're off track. What? Anyway, we're off track. I'm not telling that story. Anyway, homework's done. There you go. Guys, do your homework. Until the next week, we'll come up with another bit of homework for you.
Yep.
But that's a good bit of, yeah. That's what helped me, just going up to random people, talking to them.
I think that's a good little thing that we should do every episode.
Yeah, bit of homework. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just that one little thing every week. Imagine in a year.
Yeah, well, that 1% better.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, holy shit, I'm a well-rounded photographer, videographer. I can talk to clients. I can talk to randoms. I can make this.
Totally.
Not afraid to cold call. Imagine if you sent, this is one of the things I'm doing. Imagine if you sent like 50 emails every day to, there's thousands of real estate agents.
Yeah, man.
You're looking for jobs, right? Or looking for videographers, photographers. Imagine if you sent 100. Imagine if you sent 1,000 or whatever. Imagine, you just need one. You just need two. You need like 5, and then you're living off that.
Exactly.
Guys, just do it. Just do the work. Do the homework. The work is where the money is. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent.
I think one challenge
a week. Yeah. Because sorry, you were mentioning school, right? And I fucking hated school.
Yeah.
School was shit.
Really?
I got nothing out of school.
Why did you not like it?
Just because like I was too smart, but I was also dumb. I read everything but like, I didn't understand some stuff. So then I was the class clown and my friends, I was funny, but then I was also like, school is so shit. I know everything. Or like, my teachers hated me because they couldn't teach me because I had ADHD. So I was just disrupting everyone. And then back in those days, they didn't have the means to like help people or whatever. So all I got was like, here, sit in this fucking, it was so depressing, bro. Fuck, it was crazy. So much trauma from that. But you sit on this desk in front of this cupboard. It's all dark. There's no distractions or anything. And I'm just sitting there and my mind is going like a million miles an hour. And I'm like, boof, 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 like that. Just thinking about everything. As opposed to when I'm in a classroom, I just like, say funny jokes or whatever, that sort of thing. Anyway.
But that's true. That's a good point.
So this could be good homework.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you hate school, here, we'll give you some real homework or something.
That's so true because that drills into you like, don't be yourself, don't be unique because you're a distraction.
True,
You're going to be a distraction to everyone else.
Yeah.
So they just put you in a box.
Whereas it's flipped. These days, the distraction, the person who sets themselves up, the main character or whatever, is the person who gets all the glory. The person who gets all the money, all the jobs, all that sort of stuff, the fame. That sort of thing. So,
do you talking about like outside of school?
Outside of school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to stand out when you're that guy because everyone else has been trained to just stay in their place.
Yeah, a sheeple.
And be the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
Which has its benefits, I guess. But at the same time, if you're trying to make it, especially in a creative career, you've really got to embrace your uniqueness and learn that way of thinking isn't going to serve you outside of school.
Yeah.
Not most of the time anyway.
School we can cut this. We can cut this if we don't have time. But in my opinion, school is to get you ready for the workforce.
Supposed to be.
So school is to get you in like the mindset of you turn up somewhere at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. You do all your work. You go home at 3 or 5 or whatever. So it's to get you used to that. You have like 10 years of getting used to the workforce, and a lot of people can't escape that mentality of like, oh no, I don't need to do this. Instead, I can work 24/7. Anyway.
But like that can serve certain people. Like imagine if you want to be a nurse or a doctor. Like we need those people.
That's true.
Those people need to be disciplined enough to be able to show up on time and always do the right thing.
Yeah.
Like it serves.
Can you wait for the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha doctors and stuff where they're just like,
know.
Cap. I don't know. I can't even say any of that shit. But it's like, I can't wait for the day where I'm like a 40, 50-year-old dude and I walk into the doctor's office and they say sup or something, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go die. I don't care. I'm a cranky old man already. That's ridiculous. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Anyway. All right. That was good. That was good. We had a few tangents there.
We did.
So, education,
Yep.
empathy,
Yes.
entertain.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 E's were quite up there from what I gathered from our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be anything else that you'd add that starts with an E, maybe?
Not with a knee.
No.
No.
Damn.
Embracing what makes you unique.
Embrace your uniqueness. Wow, that's
There you
pretty
go.
good.
There's
there you
another
go.
E.
One more. Could we get to 5?
Oh, no, I got nothing. That was a
Nothing?
fluke. That
was
yeah,
pretty
I
good.
didn't
That was
even-
really good. Embrace your uniqueness. That was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
but you have to. It goes a long way.
All right, one thing to leave it on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to give us something.
Oh, I would say it's very hard to figure out what you want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
So do many, 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 many things until you find what you love, and then keep doing that, and then money will come.
Yes, I think for me with everything, dude, even in fucking fitness. But I think your North Star with all your content, with everything you do, should be enjoyment. Like if you're enjoying something, that's going to come through.
Yeah.
Like it will
It's genuine.
genuinely show.
Yeah.
And then if you like doing that, you're going to want to do more of it. And if you do more of it, that energy is going to be contagious to other people who feel the same way about that thing that you're talking about, that you're passionate about, that you enjoy doing.
This is just me, but like, so there will be some videos, right, that I'll watch of Casey and I'll find myself smiling. So like that energy has come off.
Yes.
And as Colt Cohen as well.
Because he loves what he's doing.
Exactly. And you can feel it, right?
Yep.
Are there any videos like that where you just all of a sudden, holy shit, why am I smiling? That's awesome. He has touched me through the,
Yes.
probably should reword that.
Through the screen.
Especially with P. Diddy at the moment. He has been able to emote.
Connect with you.
There you go.
Yes.
Fuck. Connection.
Yes.
Connection is another big one as well. Try and connect with your audience.
Totally.
That way you can build a fantastic community and, continue to do what you love. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can make it. It's known. Like you can make it doing this stuff without sacrificing
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really
don't have
can.
you don't have to put on too many masks.
Mm-hmm.
Except for corporate. If you don't like wearing a suit, then you're shit out of luck. You got to dress up for those things, which is annoying. Actually, yeah. Anyway, done. What a good episode. Guys, make sure you do your homework this week. Go out and talk to at least 7 randoms, 7 different businesses. You'll be amazed at what will happen, okay, if you just ask. And then...
Yeah. Man, there's so many places we can... Yeah.
Coffee shops.
Yeah.
Real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Car sales. What else? Any sort of small business.
Yep.
Obviously, look good, smell good, have a shower, all that sort of stuff, and be polite and approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. People don't want to talk to weirdos.
Yep.
Like,
And it doesn't even have to be business. It could just be a person you don't know.
Exactly.
My super introvert self
Yeah.
would always think whenever things weren't happening for me, I'd always look back to the last week and be like, how many new people did I talk to today? And it'd always be 0.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can I expect anything good to happen or opportunities to happen when I haven't met anyone new this week? I'd be talking to the same 10, 20 people every week.
True.
And it was giving myself that challenge of like, I need to talk, how many new people can I talk to this week?
And that's what happens. Your horizons open up. And that's what happens when you talk to all the people from your high school.
You got to force yourself to do it though.
Exactly. You got to get out. If you're in that small town, you got to get out of that small town.
Yep.
There's opportunity on the outside of that wall that you're.
Yep. And sometimes it takes 2 random dudes on the other side of a screen to encourage you to do it.
I hope I made you laugh. I hope I made you smile. That's my one goal. Every episode. Last week I was pretty fucked. Or the week before, I was pretty tired. I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I didn't make anyone smile this time. But that's okay. There's always next time.
We're still showing up.
We're still showing up, of course. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Kicking It podcast with Kenny and Quinn.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Please.
We're going to continue to do this, and we're changing the episodes slightly every time, so that we're getting a little bit better. So that way you get more value out of it, and we can offer you more, so that you're not wasting your time when you choose to watch us and click the like and subscribe. So in saying that, we'll talk to you next time.
See you next week.
See you next week.